they'll give you penalties, the interest on top of penalties, penalties on top of interest. I mean, it's like paying the mob. You'll never be done paying them,
Right.
right?
Well, they are
Yeah,
without a
yeah,
doubt.
no
It's a
question.
death cult. It's a cartel. So
Yeah.
I just didn't want to play in their sandbox anymore, and I decided to do something.
Well, the system is about to be abolished on a global level, but
Absolutely.
we have to we have to take out the trash first.
There was another component to this that I'd like to briefly highlight, and this is at the end of the day, what's really happening, and why this whole system is taking place with this advanced banking fraud is these corporations are essentially engaged in probate fraud. They are administering our unclaimed estates. And until we come forward and on the public record and claim our estates, they're going to continue to administer it.
Absolutely.
I've done that, and a lot of other people have done that too. And they try to label people like that as sovereign citizens. I've actually taken my lawful documentation process, served it on the appropriate institutions, and have exfiltrated or basically removed myself from the 14th Amendment citizen status. Basically, when they ask you, "Are you a United States citizen?" It's a trick. It's word manipulation. What you're agreeing to is saying that yes, I am a employee of the corporation United States. You're not saying that I'm a free man walking in,
Yeah, we've been
so,
bamboozled in more ways than we can
right.
sit here and have a 10-hour conversation about this.
Absolutely.
And we have
So,
the videos that we can constantly recycle in our Telegram groups. You guys should join our Telegram groups. Because listen,
yeah,
the only way we beat this is by being educated. You know what I mean?
exactly.
Gaining all
So,
knowledge becomes the most important thing you'll do
right.
besides staying healthy.
And one of the things that I try to help promote as far as the educational aspect of that is what's called the vocational science of freedom. And this is an advanced educational civics lesson presented for free to help not only explain the insanity of what's gotten us to the current situation, but more importantly, the remedy and the actions that you can actually take to take back what they've stolen from you. But you need
Yes.
to correct your status and your standing before you take the further steps out of this. What they're doing is taking advantage of our public persona, this fake entity that was created shortly after our birth, our commercial entity, if you will, and we can claim that back and have full control of it. But we have to understand and learn about what our rights literally are and
Yeah.
how these people have come in. So if your listeners, I would highly encourage seeking out the vocational science of freedom. They're on Gilded. You can find them on Rumble, on Odyssey, YouTube, and it's a civics lesson that has been robbed and taken away from us, and it's one of the best things you can come across. So take back your estate. Learn all about that.
Well, I think this is going slow, 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 and at some point it's going to pick up a lot of speed and it's going to go very, very fast,
It's
especially when this guy gets back because he's
yeah,
not going to stand for the BS.
right,
He's already
yeah,
told us there's going to be a monetary level playing field. We know that a flat tax is coming. We know the IRS is completely out of business. We know a lot of things are not going to be what they used to be. They're going to be something different, you know. And
yeah.
we're all trying to speculate, but I think the guys that have our fingers on the pulse, like myself and yourself, we know what's coming. We
Oh,
understand what's going to happen,
absolutely.
and we're going to get a lot of it right. It's the people who refuse to wake up, or the people who have too many kids, and they got to take one to soccer practice, the other one to Little League practice, the other one to ballet classes, and have a part-time job and a full-time job, and trying to keep their head above water. Those people
Right.
have a hard time.
It's living that distraction. You're so focused on chasing the dollar and the entertainment. And everything is designed to keep your attention away from these
Correct.
invalid oaths, and they're administering your estate and all of these other things that has been going on since the foundation of the country. And
Right.
it's time that we woke up and peacefully take back control of it. And
Right.
that's what I'm trying to help raise awareness for. The fake ghost, the administration, and a variety of other things. As you learn this, you will unlock the keys to the kingdoms, essentially. And
Correct.
we have an immense amount of wealth. We're literally walking multimillionaires. We just don't know how to
Multi-billionaires.
access that
If
money.
they were to give us, yeah, if they were to give us all of our money back plus interest, like if you don't pay that illegal entity, and I say illegal entity loosely, okay, the IRS,
Right.
and they'll give you penalties, the interest on top of penalties, penalties on top of interest. I mean, it's like paying the mob. You'll never be done paying them,
Right.
right?
Well, they are
Yeah,
without a doubt.
no
It's a
question.
death cult. It's a cartel. So
Yeah.
I just didn't want to play in their sandbox anymore, and I decided to do something.
Well, the system is about to be abolished on a global level, but
Absolutely.
we have to we have to take out the trash first. You know what I
And
mean?
I have family members that are police and sheriffs, and I know there's far more good men and women out there doing good work, but I want to help raise awareness for their situation
Yeah.
by saying, hey, here's what your oath actually entails. You can do something about it. You can resign that and go de jure to where you're actually, because there's a different role between the sheriffs and the police. The sheriffs are actually supposed to have a specific role to protect the people.
Sure.
And through these boards of commissioners, which don't have an oath, they'll stand and they'll raise their hand and do the on video, but then subtly they never actually, they have 30 days to do it. They'll never actually
Yeah.
enter an oath. And I've made all these people my trustees. They actually have to do what I say because they agreed to the contract, and when they continue to administer these estates,
Sure.
they got to put up a bond. And
Absolutely.
when they don't, you can go after them with liens and arbitration and a bunch of other things. And this is part of the educational experience that we're trying to help people become familiar with and take the power back, because they don't. These public officials, these fake people that are in these positions of perceived authority, have absolutely no authority. And it's time we rose up in a peaceful capacity and hold them to task. And
How
there's
many,
nothing.
what percentage of the cops you really think are really truly assholes? They got the asshole DNA.
Oh God, I'd totally be speculating, and I I see more good out there than I do bad. We tend to navigate or pull ourselves into the bad news on a regular basis, and I tend to have been convinced over time, seeing much more positive things than negative. So I don't want to highlight the bad. I would there's bullies everywhere.
Right.
When we were in high school, I tend to have the opinion that the percentage is kind of consistent regardless of, if you started this when you were a kid, you're going to continue to do it throughout your adult life. Now, how many bullies did we run across as kids? I think the percentage is right, roughly around that same thing. It might have gotten bigger over time because
I
they've really
mean,
injected
yeah.
narcissism into our society and
Well,
in
Cape
our society.
Canaveral and Cocoa Beach and this beach area, they seem to be stopping people all the time. And there go my dogs. Relax, guys. I'm in the podcast. Give me a break. They're so impatient. But anyway, needless to say, we got a lot of people here that are. I don't think they know what they're doing, like we said earlier. I think these videos that are popping up on YouTube and on Twitter and all these social media channels of people who know how to defend themselves with cops, and the cops are literally walking away because they realize they've been had. Okay,
Yep, yep,
and they
they
look
are,
like the
and
and
I
they look
think
like
that
the jerks that they are.
yeah,
Right.
and they're realizing that there are limitations to what they can actually do, and
Right.
if then they're actually getting sued in court and losing. Some of them are going to jail. There's
Yes.
websites out there listing all of the criminal activity of all these, what we
But these
would
guys
think
are
of.
criminals in uniform. They got a license
Yes,
to screw with the public, and
yes,
it should be highly illegal, just like the IRS is highly
absolutely.
illegal.
So when you go in and right off the bat, if people go in and ask for their local sheriff or their local police chief's oath of office, and they discover that, oh, they don't have any authority because their oath of office is actually de facto, you can then communicate with your local law enforcement, go up and have a conversation, say, hey, did you know that the sheriff that you're riding on the coattails of his perceived authority, he actually, it's a man impersonating him. That makes you an armed mercenary because
Yeah.
you have that office is actually vacant. It is
Yeah.
usurped. It
Yeah.
is a man impersonating a sheriff, a police
Yeah.
chief, a mayor, a
Yeah.
attorney general. I've got their oaths, and I'm in the process of getting
Yeah,
more.
look, I can't speak for other parts of Florida, but I lived in Bal Harbor and Surfside and Bay Harbor Islands, okay, and North Miami Beach and Sunny Isles. And I could tell you it's bad. It's bad, as bad there as it is here in Brevard County.
Yeah,
I don't know. I can't speak for the whole Brevard County. I'll take that back. But Melbourne, Titusville, this area here, what do you call it? Cocoa Beach, Merritt Island, it is unbelievable. I mean,
yeah,
you drive
and
3 miles and there's like, 4 different cars. If you are a well-known podcaster with an international audience, listen up. Our healing center, stayingalive.com in Cape Canaveral, was also created for hosting events. We've had several successful venues at our location already, which holds between 200 and 600 people. Our location boasts a professional stage, sound system, lighting, microphones, remote control high-end definition cameras for international live streaming, and much more. If you're interested in meeting your fan base in person at our location, plus give your audience the benefit of healing through our scalar wave technology, please contact our office immediately at 321-503-1670. And our staff will make sure that they will set up an appointment for you to speak directly with me, Mel Carmel. Pulled over.
right. Well, the thing here is, with my situation, I'm dealing with the 18th Judicial Circuit in Florida. That encompasses Seminole County and Brevard County.
Yeah.
And right now, with my situation, and it's absolutely comical, is that the man who's impersonating a judge, who's on the receiving end of a lawsuit, basically assigned that my quote unquote criminal case, where I literally got arrested for saying I don't have a contract with the corporate state, spent a night in jail for that. So I kind of think that's a badge of honor. But
Sure.
right now, the the chief judge of the 18th Judicial Circuit, which oversees Seminole and Brevard County, he's a circuit court judge according to his own oath of office, and he's the current judge on my case. He can't come onto my case. He can't do anything with it because that he would be leaving his jurisdiction. So
Sure.
they're trying whatever they can to force like these mental evaluations. It's all contract. You have to consent to this stuff.
Well, the
So they
system has to collapse. The system is antiquated. The system is old. The system no longer serves the people. Has never really served the people. It should have been done years ago.
It
But
serves their interest.
yeah,
And I purchased all of the, oh, here's a really interesting fact, because this fake judge tried to say that this state of Florida, which is a corporation on Dun and Bradstreet, is in fact our government. I go, well, if it's our government, we should have access to see their public financial
yeah,
records.
sure.
But if they're on Dun and Bradstreet, those financial records are literally behind a $1,250 paywall.
Yeah.
What's behind that? I'm wondering, does that Dun and Bradstreet annual financial report match up with the public records
Yeah.
that are fed to us? I don't. I want to see one of those Dun and Bradstreet reports.
Yeah. See, you're educated in how to defend yourself in this system that we're sort of, getting away from, this three-dimensional system, this antiquated system. But
Right.
the reality is the average person is not going to be able to learn the lingo that to go into court and fight them and win, because
And
it's like learning a whole new language. Most people don't have the wherewithal, the patience, the brain power, et cetera, et cetera.
And that's exactly why I really encourage people to go research and learn about the vocational science of freedom, because those classes teach you exactly I wouldn't be here where I'm at without learning this information and going and
Yeah.
taking these
And who's offering
weekends.
these classes? You are?
It's done by the guy that runs the Vocational Science of Freedom. He puts on basically weekly free call-ins and
Gotcha.
reads the original documentation, and you learn some absolutely mind-blowing things about where these institutions came about. It's a deep
Sure.
learning. It's a deep history in civics, and it's
Yeah.
unlike anything. I consider it to be like the Ferrari of civics.
Yeah, but do we really need to learn it when we know potentially that Nasara Jasara is really around the corner?
Well, I would say look at our current situation and how we got here. And do people actually know their rights? When civics is taken
But the
out of our
rights we think we have are about to expire.
no, they're not.
No, I'm not saying the
I don't
right. I'm
agree.
saying the whole system's about to expire. A new system's coming in.
Yeah, but if they did this very subtly over a very long period of time, if we don't know what they did, but more importantly, what our true sovereign and natural law and our divine rights actually are, we're just going to go right back down into that pit. So it's
Sure.
important. It's extraordinarily important to actually know what our rights are, how to defend our rights, and how to stand on our rights
Well,
and our
I love what I'm seeing. I love the fact that the people that do have the time, the people who have the time and the balls and the brain power to be able to learn this new lingo and really take these police officers and make them look ridiculous, because that's what they are. You guys are ridiculous, by the way. Okay. And so I encourage the effort. I applaud the effort. I say keep going for those of you who have the time, because I would have to literally stop for like entire 2 weeks and maybe learn this thing 4 hours a day every day for 2 weeks until I could speak the lingo. And that I would probably be the most popular video of cops. I would probably, being armed with that kind of lingo, me, I'm not a troublemaker, but I would probably go look for a little bit of trouble just to put it on video.
well, my whole idea here with all of this is I'm not at war with the police or the sheriff's department
Mm-hmm.
because they have been deceived. They are
Yeah, but
trained.
isn't it time for them to take 2 steps backwards, say, okay,
Absolutely, yeah.
let's look at the system for what it is. How have we been bamboozled? What are we doing? Is what we're doing legal? Is it illegal? And if it's illegal, then you either resign and go do something else for a living, or stop bothering the people.
Well,
Stop.
yeah, and that's the point. Yeah, they are bullies. I'm not gonna lie, but at the same time, they have been just viscerally lied to.
Yes.
And when we can actually sit down and have a conversation and say, hey, wait a minute, here's what's really going on, and here's why. I
Right.
think turning the tide to have them actually perform their lawful duties of what they're supposed to be doing when they actually get a proper education in civics and in law, because they're not enforcing law. They're enforcing a de facto collective corporation's rules.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
a whole different ballgame.
yeah. Look, at the end of the day, some of these cops obviously are starting to learn what's really coming down the
Yeah,
pipe. Look, I say if there's a domestic violence or some, 35-year-old man is beating up an old woman that's 68 years old, yes, go do your job. You get a call for domestic
right.
violence, yes, go do your job. You get a call for child abuse, yes, go do your job. But don't stop everybody for doing, 8 miles an hour over the speed limit. Let's get real. You know what I mean?
They there is a if you remember the Stanford experiment, you put people in positions of power, they start getting an ego trip,
Yeah, and,
and they
then,
have to be
a lot of them have an ego trip. I hate to tell you.
absolutely.
Yeah, a lot of them have an ego trip, and a lot of them they love feeding on the fact that they can put fear in you.
Absolutely. That's it. There, there's a psychological
No, these are
manipulation.
psychopaths, as far as I'm concerned. These are psychos
Absolutely.
in uniform.
Absolutely.
I call
That
them out. I don't particularly like the police. I think you give them a little bit more respect than I do. I give them zero.
well, I
You know
have
what? They've
I've
shown me zero. They've shown
yeah,
me zero, and I give them zero right back.
exactly. It's a mutual thing. And I'm not, I mean, I've already been to 3 wars. I'm not interested in pursuing armed conflict if I can potentially
Yeah.
avoid it. But
Yes.
I'll tell you right now, there's millions of men like myself in America, armed combat veterans that have a really handy arsenal, and there's a lot more of us than there are them. I want peace,
Me
but
too.
I'm willing to go to war number
Yeah.
4 to save our republic,
Yes.
because I think we, in what the future holds, not only for this country, but with these new technologies that have been suppressed. There's over
Right.
5,000 or 6,000 advanced technology patents that are about to be released. And I don't
Correct.
know if you're aware of like the anti-gravity patents that the United States Navy released.
We have a
And,
lot of stuff that's going to get released on the Nasara.
oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So,
But anyway, listen, it was a pleasure having you guys. If you want to, the tickets are $199 for general admission. Depending how fast they sell, will determine whether we move downstairs. I believe we're headed downstairs because the tickets are going pretty fast, and we have such an incredible lineup of people. They're excited to come down. I'm excited to meet them for the first time because I follow a lot of the same people that are going to be on the stage, and I'll be meeting them for the first time, just like you are. Make sure you get those links out there. Make sure you get our promos out there. I believe that Cape Canaveral is going to become ground zero to energize our base and keep everybody in a positive cash flow situation, a positive health situation, and energize our base so that we are in a positive state of mind situation as we're getting ready to usher in not a new, but the guy that probably never left, like you said. Okay. And what's really more important is what comes after him. There's a guy, is a lawyer, is running for Senate with against Pocahontas over there in Boston, Elizabeth Warren,
yeah.
rightfully so. Coined from him, Pocahontas, because she was supposed to prove that she was more than 20% Indian, blah blah blah. She's not even 2%, not even 1,000th of 1%. But anyway, needless to say, the reality is that he would be potentially also a very good president. John Deaton is the kind of guy I would love to see in the, because this guy here, he's probably going to say, "Hey, I'm here. I'm going to try to put everything in place." And at some point, he wants to go sail off into the sunset and go play in the sand. You know what I mean? And enjoy the fruits of his labor. I think he's entitled. So what's really important is who comes in after Donald Trump, and we have to be laser focused because we don't want what happened in the last 100 years to happen again. So if we don't want to be enslaved, we got to do our job. And it's up to all you digital soldiers out there to take this information, move it forward. Shad, real quick, how do they find you?
I run a channel on Telegram. It's called the Majestic 12 Hub. There's also a large chat group with people that are talking about these and many other pieces of information about our situation with the geopolitical situation.
Great.
Health, finance, all sorts of different things.
Yeah. So the Majestic 12 Hub on Rumble
on Telegram.
On Telegram, I'm sorry. And our what you would call it, the editors will put it down underneath. This way they'll know how to get to you, etc. And we'll get the video out to you. This way you can help us promote our venue as well in Cape Canaveral to your group.
Okay.
Sounds good, Shad. Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Hello, folks. My name is Mel Carmine, and we are right in the middle of a tectonic shift, the biggest wealth transfer that is going to hit this entire planet like a tsunami on steroids. This will never happen again, at least not in our lifetime. Many of you still have the opportunity to get in right now. Joining our Telegram group is perhaps the smartest thing you'll ever do, and it won't cost you a single dime. We have tens of thousands of patriots waiting for you, and they'll take you by the hand to teach you the ropes so that you don't get slaughtered. Not the global reset. This is not the global reset, but rather the quantum financial system reset, the one that's attached to Nasara Jasara. It's coming at us at 800 miles an hour. The question is, are you ready? Are you in position to receive wealth beyond your wildest dreams? There are 6 to 8 tokens that are going to completely and entirely dominate this landscape. And no, it's not Bitcoin or Ethereum. Join our Telegram group today, and don't forget to visit the Quantum Financial Systems Manual at QFS1776.com